Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to... Oh, wait, no, this is a Patreon exclusive video, so you don't got to hit no like or subscribe. Well, I guess you can't hit the heart. I think there's a heart. Yeah, there is a heart. You can like on Patreon. I forgot about that. Anyways, I'm going to talk about people who have over 100K. I'm going to give you a strategy that I use personally to print money. Because once you have over 100K, the stock market is a money printer. It's a money printer. You have a lot of power. So there's a guy in the Discord from Belgium, turned 30K into 300K on Soun, and he came to me like, I don't know what to do with this money. Like, I want to be able to generate some income from this. What can I do with this? And he didn't know the kind of power that he had. He didn't realize that going from 30K account to 300K, he just became a whole nother beast. He became a whole nother animal. Like, he's on a whole nother level he's above everyone else at this point. But he doesn't know that. You know, everyone else is drowning. He finally got out of the water, and now he doesn't have to struggle. But he did not realize the kind of power that he has with that 300K. His original game plan was to take that money and put it back into Soun. And for those of you who, and I don't want him to do that, because I'm like, let's play it safe, but also let's generate some income for you. So I'm going to show him covered calls. I'm not going to show him how to sell a put yet. I'm going to just show him, you know, let's teach him covered calls. Let's take it slow. This is someone that got into the markets, you know, hit the lottery, so to speak. So he's never traded options. Let's, you know, ease him into it, you know. So I'm going to show him how to sell covered calls so he can get used to it. I don't want to overwhelm him with too much information, but before I continue, as I was saying, imagine buying RGTI. You take 300K profit up here, because he actually hit sell. He saw that he was up 300K and he was like, I'm taking this. I'm not holding it all the way down, right? Because he would look stupid if he did. No offense to Araceli and the many others that did that. But imagine he put, you know, imagine he sold here at $15 for 300K, and then he decides, oh my God, I'm going to jump back in. He jumps back in at 20s, and then it dumps 50%. How stupid would he feel? It's happened before. I've met people who make a lot of money in the markets and they give it right back by jumping back into that same stock because they get overconfident. Like, man, I just 10x my money. Let me jump back into that same stock so it can 10x my money again and I'll be a millionaire. So thankfully, he was smart enough. He's smart. Like, I think he's gonna have a great life now. He's smart. The fact that he was able to recognize I have a lot of money and I don't know what to do with it. Let me go to this guy Shades that loves to talk about, you know, Sound, Rigetti, Color. If you're watching this, I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are, you with the 300K. Just let me know, how did you discover my channel? I'm curious. I'm curious how you discovered my channel. Was it through Cooler, Rigetti, one of the quantum stocks, or Sound? Because I do talk about Sound. I'm bullish on that one long term. $100 share price, not 100,000 share price. $100 long term. Short term, I see it at 25. Bullish on that one long term. Because AI is the future. They're going to replace us. They're superior to us. And if you trade like a bot in the markets, guess what? You're going to make more money than the people who trade with emotions. Surprise, surprise, right? So, my friend, whose name starts with T and ends with L, just to give, I guess, other people a hint, they might find you just because I said that. Because, you know, they're going to be like, who's this guy who turned 30K into 300K? Okay. Covered calls. I want you to buy NVIDIA stock, 100 shares. I don't want you to go crazy and buy 1,000 shares. I know you can afford it. Very obviously, you can afford that now, which back then you couldn't. You have a lot of power, my friend. But I want you to, you know, have some restraint. Don't go crazy. I want you to just get the hang of it. So tomorrow, in my opinion, not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy in my room with a green screen behind me. I'm a nobody, you know. I just got to throw all that disclaimer out there. If I was you, and my name is, you know what your name is, I would buy 100 shares of NVIDIA tomorrow. Just buy it, market order, just get your 100 shares in. You don't care, just buy. You got money, you got 300K, my friend. Buy 100 shares. And then I want you, and I showed you this in the Discord, I want you to take that 100K, put it off to the side, so that you can use that just for generating income on NVIDIA. And here's how you do it. I'm trying to find the pictures here. Let me see if I can find the snippets, because I took a bunch of snippets. I guess this computer does not save snippets like my, oh, there it is. There's a bunch of snippets here. Maybe they got deleted. There they are, not this one. This one shows my account number, which is why I'm going to have to delete it. But here you go. This is what I showed him, and I'm going to show it to everyone else. So in case you do have 100K plus, you can do this too. Like, you're no longer on the same level as the people with 10,000 and less. They're literally lesser than you because they have less money. They just can't do what you can do. So I'm about to show you this because this is new to a lot of people. This guy has 300K, so I want you to take 100K, put it off to the side just for NVIDIA. Buy 100 shares is what I would do. Okay, so 100 shares, you know, woohoo, I have 100 shares, woo, I have 100 shares, okay? Then you want to have the, I don't know, depends on your broker, but you should have call as the strategy, call. And then sell to open because you're looking to sell contracts. And I showed him, I'm like, you have a lot of money. You can buy 1,000 NVIDIA shares, sell to open 10 contracts with an expiration date of 124 at 137 and generate $2,880. Pretty much you can do that tomorrow if you wanted to. If we're keeping it real, he can literally do that tomorrow. You can put it at a limit order if you want, or you can just market order it. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. You're just going to print money here. So you're going to sell contracts to someone. Let me put it this way. You're giving someone, here's some insurance. In return, you pay me $288 times 10 contracts because you can afford 1,000 NVIDIA shares because you need 100 shares to be able to even sell contracts, which, like I said, small accounts can't even afford 100 shares. They can't. You can. In fact, you can afford probably more than this. But I want you to just 100 shares, one contract, sell it to someone, collect your 250 to 280 or whatever the case may be. And that's it. Just sit back and relax and wait till the expiration date. This is the expiration date. You're selling a contract, it expires on the 24th. So this week. So take your profit for selling people your insurance. To use that analogy. Take the profit, and then when that on the 24th when it expires, you'll either two things are going to happen. Either it's going to expire and the person who bought the contract from you isn't going to take your 100 shares, which means you can just rinse and repeat the strategy, right? Like the guy bought a contract and it didn't work out for him. So you still have your 100 shares and the guy, you know, he lost 288 on buying that contract. He's out that 288. That's yours to keep. It's yours the moment you click sell. So if that happens, you just rinse and repeat the strategy until they actually exercise the contract, meaning they fulfill you fulfill the contract, you give them the 100 shares. The contract is essentially you saying, hey, here's the expiration date. If the stock price moves above this number, they're going to exercise the contract, take the 100 shares. And they're gonna make their money, but you still keep your the money from selling that contract. And then you just buy another 100 shares and rinse and repeat. You get what I'm saying? So even if whatever happens, you still make money, and you still keep your original money that you spent to get the 100 shares, and then some on top of that. Especially because I want you to make sure that this number here, so this is the expiration date, this is the number, it should be a call. And remember, sell to open, you're selling a contract. 137, I want you to change that number. It's going to be different by the time you do this tomorrow, but just make sure it's above, like make sure it's like $1 or $2 above your, whatever the price is at. So if NVIDIA's at 140 tomorrow or 145, just make sure you move this up to $2 above it. So if the share price of NVIDIA is at 140, change this number to 142. If it's at 145, change it to 147. Just make sure it's $2 above. And here's why. Here's why, because number one, you're still gonna get your your profit here from selling the contract to that person. But if the share price does move to, let's say you sell it at 137, the stock is at 137, let's say it goes to 139, they're going to exercise the contract. You're going to give them your 100 shares, right? Because they're in the money, so they're going to take their profit, of course. And guess what? The reason I want this number to always be $2 above whatever the current share price is of NVIDIA. Whenever you sell these, always $2 above. And here's why. You'll still get your paycheck, right? You'll still get your check for selling the contract. But if they do take your 100 shares from you to fulfill that contract, well, guess what? You're going to make, how much do you think you're going to make? They're going to pay that 137. Because that's the agreed upon price. Think of it that way. It's the agreed upon price. If the contract is fulfilled, you end up giving them your 100 shares at this price. So assuming the price was at 135 and they exercise that contract, it's fulfilled and you get an extra $2 per share. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I might be, I don't want to overwhelm him. I want to keep it simple. But that's an extra $2 you get for your 100 shares. So you sell your 100 shares and you get an extra $2 per share. Because the agreed upon price was at 137, you bought your shares at 135. So not only do you get your money from selling the contract, but you get an extra 200 in your pocket. Because they agreed to buy it at 137, you bought your shares at 135. Hopefully that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to say. And as you can see, you have the money to be able to sell 10 of these. So you can generate an extra $2,800 every month, which I don't know if that's more than your job, but it's a pretty good amount. The only downside to this strategy is if we go into a bear market. But if you watched my recent video, the one that's on YouTube, I showed you that if NVIDIA goes into a bear market, hold the shares and just average down because it's always going to come back up for you. Always. So in fact, if it goes into a bear market, you just get excited like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm holding some shares at the top, whatever. And let me just show you, because I don't want you to think I'm full of it. NVIDIA here, let's go to the weekly and let me just show you, oh, look at this. Bear market dropped from 34 to 10, then ran from 10 in the bull market from 10 to 153. Insane, right? Oh, guess what? Here's another bear market from 7 to 3, then ran to a high of 34. Another 10x. Rinse and repeat. Let me show you the yearly chart, which is something people don't look at. What do you see? Not only is the trend getting steeper, but it just keeps going up over the long term. This is why I want you to do this strategy with this stock specifically, because you can afford it, first of all. Number two, you generate like an extra 2K every month or more, up to you. But I just want you to get comfortable and just try one at first. Although you might not listen to me and be like, oh my God, I can generate 2.8K. Yes, you can. And things just become free. Things just become free. Like the money that I make from Patreon, it doesn't even matter to me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I might buy some rad cams and like do a giveaway. Like to give it back to people who would want a rad cam but can't afford it. Just to give back. But like when you have over 100K, you have a lot of power. You can generate income in such a way that most people would just they wouldn't even know what to do with 300K. They would just put it back into the stock that made him rich, quote unquote rich, and then blow up. Like I just showed you with the quantum stocks. That happened with a lot of people on quantum stocks. When they dropped 50%, unfortunately they had bought back in, and they woke up the next day like, oh my God, I just got screwed. There's people right now in color stock. One of them is in the Discord. Araceli, I think her name is. She did not sell. When she was up 100K, she did not sell. She's holding it all the way down, unfortunately. But she could have sold for 100K, and she could have been a money printer in the markets at that point. And like I said, it's okay to hold NVIDIA at the top Let me show you again to give you the confidence. Guess what happens? It tops out here, goes into a huge bear market, then it runs and comes back up for you and then some. It just has a huge run. It does it every single time. Bear market comes down nice and cheap, it runs, comes back to you to where you were holding those shares that you were using this covered call strategy on, and then it just keeps going. Like, you have so much power. Like, people watching this, if you're in the Discord and you don't have 100K plus, you are seeing what you can do if you have 100K plus. Like, I was telling people, go get a DoorDash job and like make some extra income and save it for NVIDIA. Like, just put that cash off to the side for NVIDIA specifically. Because once you have 100K, you're just gonna your gym membership is free. Your groceries are free, even after taxes on that 2,800. He's from Belgium. I don't know his tax situation, but either way, even if his taxes are 50% like Canada, that's still 1,440 that he keeps in his pocket. And that's like, his groceries are free now. I don't know how much rent is over there or whatever his situation is, but rent is pretty much free if you're paying rent. Like, a lot of things just become free. Like, I live in an apartment in a nice neighborhood, and it's mostly it's quiet. It's mostly people who have money or are older and are retired, Gen X and older. They're Gen X and retired, and they just want to live in a quiet place. And that's why I live here, because it's quiet and it's nice, and it's, you know, people are wealthy here, and they go, like, they have homes all over the world, not all over the country. Like, they have a house in Texas, a house in the mountains, whatever. Like, they have a house all over the United States. Like, that's the kind of money these people have. It's Gen X. Of course they have money. So I live in a nice, you know, neighborhood, in an apartment, nice and quiet, and I love it. My rent is pretty much free, pretty much. Like, I don't want to say it's free, but yeah, it's free. Like, the market pays for it. Gym membership is free. Food is free. Everything's free. The vegan pizza, that was free. Like, I was just joking about, oh my god, I need to make money to pay for the vegan pizza. I was just joking. I I could sell a covered call and generate a quick $300, and I can buy a ton of pizzas. Like, it just, you changed your life by turning that 30K into 300K. And you came to me, and that was smart, because if you had gone to someone, to a real financial advisor, to put it that way, they would have just told you, put it into S&P 500 and take 10% year over year. Like, they would have just told you to play it super safe. And nah, man, you got power. You got power, my friend. And I would use it, but not abuse it. I wouldn't go in with all 300K, you know, just maybe 100K off to the side, maybe just 5 contracts and collect a, you know, 1440 in a nice little check every month, and be happy with that. And as your account grows, you can start printing more money. Literally, the stock market is your printer, if you know what you're doing. So, Araceli, if you're watching this was like, you had a lot of potential to change your life with 100K. Like, a lot of things just become free, but you held it all the way down, unfortunately. And we'll see. Hopefully it works out for you. We'll see. The market, if it pumps tomorrow, maybe we'll get a huge pump on quantum and color stock and everything else. We'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. But it's incredible to meet someone from, like, another country who just changed their lives, and they don't even know it. Like, that 300K is no joke. You don't have to be doing no risky bullshit. In fact, you can generate that 2,800 and then invest that 2,800 or whatever it would be after taxes into other stocks. Like, the market is paying for it now. The market is paying you to buy more stock, and you still have your original 300K. Like, this is incredible. This is beautiful to see, and I hope more people get to this point. Once you have 100K, reach out to me, because it's just you're just a money printer. It's a whole nother game. You're a whole nother level. Like, the people, like Seb Luke in the Discord, he only has 2K or something. He's just slowly losing his money, chasing stocks, hoping to hit, like, the big 1,000x. He's hoping to turn 2K into a million tomorrow, and that's just stupid. It's not gonna happen. If this guy had 30K, that's why he was able to turn it into 300K, a 10x. So if you had only put 1K into it, a 10x would be 10K, which is good, but it's not on the same level as someone that has 100K. It's just a whole nother, like, you're just a whole, like, like, I don't even do my laundry. I pay someone to do my laundry. I have 365 underwears because I'm that lazy. I don't want to do my laundry. I have money. I can just buy, I can buy an underwear every day and then have someone come in and pay them to wash them at the end of every year. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. I'm not. Because it's free. I just showed you if you have 100K plus, things become free. It's... Belgium guy, you just changed your life, and I hope you take advantage of it without getting greedy. Like, don't go in with all 300K, right? You don't want to hold a big bag of NVIDIA at the top. You want to hold maybe a bag of $100,000 worth of shares up here, and then slowly average down with your 200K as it goes lower and lower and lower, and then guess what? It always 10x's. You're going to turn that 300K into even more. Like, you just have so much power. Most people in the Discord, they cannot do that. They cannot even afford to be able to buy an NVIDIA share, just one share, as it goes down every dollar that it goes down. Like, you gained that 300K. Might not, I know you wanted $1 million, but that 300K just changed your life if you know how to use it. And I'm happy for you. Like, holy shit. Like, you were smart enough not to give it back, because some people at the poker table, they make 300K and give it right back, and then their original investment, to put it that way. You knew to walk away with the money, go to someone and be like, hey, what can I do with this? And I congratulate you for that. I congratulate you for that. Already smarter than most people in the markets. I promise you, I've met all kinds of people. Right now in the Discord, I don't want to call him an idiot. The only person that I would say is like not very bright in terms of being good at the stock market and recognizing when to walk away from the poker table and when to go big and when to go small and when to wait would be Sebluk. But other than that, everyone else, I'm assuming, is not doing what Sebluk does and is just being patient and disciplined and waiting so they can grow their account slowly but surely. If they can hit a 10x, maybe they can get to 100K. Then from there, things become free. Like, my gym membership is free. Like, shit is just free, my friends. Like, money really is power. At this point, well, maybe not at 300K, but once you get to $1 million, you kind of have the power to, like, you can put $1 million into NVIDIA, it goes up 10%, you just made 100K after taxes. I don't know how much you would keep, but now with after taxes, let's say you keep 80K of that, you can use that 80K to start a business and employ people and hire them and change their lives that way by paying them well for a service or whatever. Like, you can start up a gym, a restaurant, whatever. Like, you have power when you have, at least I would say $1 million plus. Because I thought about opening my own gym here in the Midwest, but I don't want to deal with people. I'm pretty comfortable just sitting at home. But maybe in the future, I might. But, like, even starting a business is free. Like, oh, if the business fails, oh, well, I'm out 80K. Guess what? I made that 80K from putting $1 million into NVIDIA. It went up 10%, made 100K after taxes. I kept 80K. Or whatever your tax situation is in Belgium. We can't assume, we don't know. Like, you really do, you just changed your life, in my opinion. Whether you recognize it, we'll see. We'll see. But many props to you. And I hope we get more stories like that in the future. Anyways, that is it for the video. Pretty much, yeah, that's a pretty long one. But like that guy, again, I'm not going to name him. He can do a lot now. Like, he can literally start a business and that business goes down under and it would mean nothing to him. Even with 300K, I think a small business, maybe not a big one, but at $1 million plus, you just have the power to employ people at that point and change their lives. Like, you have so much power, my friend. Like, I oh my goodness, I congratulate you. Please take care. Don't do anything stupid. Test out the strategy. Acknowledge that you really just, like, you have a lot of power. 30K, I don't know how you felt at 30K, but when you told me that 300K, man, that's not a lot. I need $1 million so I can retire. I don't think you realized what you were saying. I don't think you realized, like, how much you moved up in the world. And hopefully now you know. This was more of a talk to one of the Discord members, because he's like, Like he made a lot of money and doesn't know what to do with it. And I'm like, all you need is Nvidia and just sell contracts. And if you hold the bag at the top, guess what? It always comes back up for you. Nvidia AI is not going anywhere. Nancy Pelosi just bought Nvidia calls, I believe. So she must know something from the inside. If a congressperson is buying Nvidia calls ahead of Trump's inauguration, so it looks like even if we go into a bear market right now, thank you. Let me give me Nvidia real cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a money printer. Please take advantage. That's it for the video. I congratulate you. I'm proud of you. Like, you changed your life.